Learning is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
So new, I'm Nike.
I'm Siona.
I'm Sydney.
And I'm Alex.
I'm Emily, and today I'm introducing the Churchill Orphan Care Group. This week we had the pleasure of getting to know Tama and the children, such as Abdul, Hawa, and Habiba. We want the best for these children, and while creating these solutions, we have thought of them as our own. We've created what we feel to be the best possible solutions that will improve the educational and social part of their lives.
Before beginning to think about the educational aspect of our solution, we must first begin to think of the kids' basic needs. As orphans, people often tend to forget that these individuals are incredibly vulnerable to a lot of situations. When we had the pleasure of speaking to Tama over long nights and breakup calls, bad connection, we've had the pleasure of having her stay up so late at night just to talk to us. And what we've learned about her is she's an extremely family-oriented person, which gave us the idea going into this that this needs to be a relationship with us, Tama, a relationship that involves trust, communication, and faith. These kids going into the classroom, as you see them walking into the classroom, Tama said some of them would feel so down, and it's kind of like you begin to think, well, how am I going to teach a child who doesn't even want to be taught? They have so much hope and so much faith, although with the struggles that they've gone through from ages 6 to 11, how do you even begin to overcome that and teach the lesson?
For the academic aspect of the orphanage problems, we created a curriculum which helps Tama teach the class of the different lessons and different subjects that we have. We created a math lesson plan, a science lesson plan for hygiene and basic health, an English writing plan, and an English reading plan so that they can learn the different things. We also want the children to have homework so that they can retain the information that they were taught.
We also have, a fundraising aspect of our solutions. Basically, my school at home, we do this thing called Penny Wars, where it's basically each class has 2 jars, and it's almost like a competition to see how many pennies you can get into your own jar, and basically it's like a sabotage thing where you play against each other's team. And each time we play or compete, we earn thousands of dollars each time. So it's a really kind of cool competitive game. We also decided to go along with donation jars in companies around town, grocery stores, for example, where we'll have a jar next to the cash register and customers can donate if they choose.
And going along with the snacks, for us in America, we tend to think of food as something we can get so easily. So to us, it's almost like a reward. Although for these kids, it's not a reward at all, it's a necessity.
So one thing we look to with our snacks is when we were discussing with them that the snacks are not always the healthiest when they first walk in, and we believe that is why some of their attention is not being retained for the lessons, which is why we love to implement peanuts, protein bars, granola bars, so that way they have that energy and that protein to make it through the lesson. So this is an example, and it is an example for our math lesson plan, for example, if you're teaching them how to count. Right now, the children are learning how to count from 1 to 10 in English. So in the morning when Tama walks in, she would make a flashcard, write the number 1 on it, take a new flashcard, write 2, so on up until 10, just like shown in the first picture. She would then repeat the exact same process, but this time she would draw dots on there. As you can see here, this is her lesson plan on how to teach the exact lesson, which I have placed in front of you both at this time. What she would do is when she gets in the classroom, she would say the numbers 1 through 10, and the children would recite them back. Then they'd go through a song. We actually kind of made up a song, and we also wanted to make it educational as well, and we looked at that the national animal is the eagle. So for example, we have a song that goes, 1 little, 2 little, 3 little eagles, and it goes on and on all the way up until you get to 10. So that's what we would do, so they'd be able to sit down after they learn the song and be able to match up the flashcards with the number 1 with the dot 1. Once they finish that, they'd sing the song again and repeat the numbers, and they would get the homework, which I laid out there for you guys, because they only meet 2 times a week. And so that's why we feel like they need to have homework, so that way they can help retain the skills they have learned.
Now, what's the next step? We strongly believe that with our solutions, we can unlock full potential of the children's capabilities. Moving forward, we would love to be able to reach the point where we can add new subjects, such as the history of Nigeria. As we have presented our solutions, we're not only trying to improve their educational skills, but we're also trying to teach them the invaluable skills that they will use later in life.
Thank you very much.
This is fantastic. You ladies did a good job.
Thank you so much.
Orphans kind of touch my heart a whole lot more than, you know. And I know that most of them come from homes where they're living with uncles and aunties because their parents are no longer there. That's what made them orphans. And most of them come in without breakfast. So the fact that you were thinking of providing some kind of snack is a big plus. And in fact, in some schools now in the north, they are beginning to give free breakfast. They're giving them free breakfast, they're giving free lunch. Because most kids come to school hungry. So this is nice. I love what you said about building relationship with trust, commitment, and faith. And that is very important because these kids have been through a lot in their little lives. I mean, they've only been here a short time, and they've been through things that most adults will not even begin to deal with. I love the idea of the donations through the grocery stores. I can see that now where even in restaurants you have boxes or you have, you know, little cartons, cardboards, you know, with a whole slit in it that people, after eating and drinking, they want to drop something in the pan or in that container. That's beautiful. And I love what you said about the fact that you're going to give them homework. So even though they're there for 2 days a week, they're able to remember what they like. And then the songs, I teach kids in church. So I know that songs are a beautiful way of teaching and retaining information. I like what you said, and I'm going to close with that. Being an orphan and do whatever we do for them is not a reward, it's a necessity. They need to be taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Simon Cowell and Mark Cuban here. I like the idea of the snacks. I know that doesn't shock anybody in the room, but, and it was really great. We had snacks just before, so it was timely. It was a very professional presentation. That's the thing that was most impressive to me. You know, you smile like, and it's enough for the whole group. When the rest of you smile, when the rest of you smile and laugh like you're doing right now, it's beautiful. You know, that's really important is the smiling. I mean, whether it be on this like you're doing right now in the presentation or just greeting somebody, it really is nice. I liked your group singing as part of the presentation. I think it really added to it. And I got to tell you, right off the bat, you know, I told one of the judges, I loved your kids at the bottom of the screen there.
Thank you.
I really do, and I love them so much that Marcia knows I make wine, and I use that as a logo on a bottle of wine that I made for my wife that she gave to the teachers at the school. So I know the school. I'm not going to mention the name of the school so nobody gets in trouble, but I know that they all appreciated those kids there too. So good job in the presentation.
Thank you so much.
So, great job to all of you. You're all incredibly articulate. You barely looked at your notes. You were very confident, and it made me want to hear more of what you had to say. I love the picture at the beginning because I immediately connected to your client, your customer, and to the purpose of what you're doing. You set the tone for your project at the beginning, talking about, as you described, Stella, the struggle of orphans. So immediately, this was a real challenge that I could understand. The singing, I agree. You all have beautiful voices. It was well choreographed, and that was it was a surprising but very nice element that I think kept the audience engaged. Related to that, you were enjoying yourselves. You know, this isn't meant to be a torture session. This is meant to be a group of people that care about an issue and want to communicate the fact that they care about this. And so to the degree you maintained eye contact, that you smiled, all the rest of it, that was incredibly important. And then very last, this is also stylistic because the substance has already been talked about and is a very good solution to a very clear problem. You maintained a rhythm to the presentation. You never lagged and no one was confused. You kept going, you were working together as a team. I didn't feel that I was looking at a collection of individuals. I felt that I was looking at a real team. So great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, first, actually everybody is entertained by your presentation, the way you put it together and whatever. So I'm just imagining that if you put all these things together, as we are entertained, then I begin to imagine how the kids will be so excited to go through your curriculum lesson plans. And the other thing I look at is that the connection you have between you and the teacher and the orphans, they're kind of like, you're really excited deep within, like this is what I want to do and it makes you happy. So that's really matters. And that shows that you guys can do the best you can to actually come up with something that will help these kids. And especially about talking about the fundraising stuff, it's like, no, we don't just want to stop at the level of providing them with the lesson plan, but we want to do more to actually see that we help these kids. So this is really amazing and touching.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're the team that'll do everything to win, and I love every part of that. If you guys might have noticed why you guys were all getting snacks, Alex was talking to the judges. You guys were so amazing during the week. You all added to each other. Simon's right, you guys are like a puzzle piece, and you each figured out where you all fit into your presentation. And you made sure every single person added to the next part of the presentation to make a better whole. I don't see that too often. And I did watch you guys practicing this week. And you were definitely working with each other. And that's not every team does that. Some teams just watch, like, oh, well, that's the way he's going to do it. Or she's going to do it. You guys worked with each other. And you weren't nervous about doing that. You seemed all to be open to becoming better individuals to make a greater whole. And that's just so impressive. So you guys, just give them a round of applause. They're amazing.
Join the International Leadership and Business Summit. Transform the world.